Hey, what's up guys, you got Don back again, bringing you my draft analysis for the PMC Pokemon Masters Cup. I'm really happy to be a part of this, so without further ado, we're not going to do anything too super fancy, so we're going to go ahead and get into it. Alright, so my first pick was Mega SCIZOR, and I really like Mega SCIZOR in League format just because it's so easy for people to just play around it so safely and then end up with like the mons that can't beat it at the end of a game and just SD and setup and win. It's also a fantastic physical wall. It's bulkier than Skarmory is, and it's got one weakness being fire, and that's pretty freaking sweet in the League format where type coverage is always going to be a thing. Yes, I will have to watch out for hidden power on like everything or natural gift and whatnot, but for the most part SCIZOR is really useful. I can also run an offensive U-turn set. It's got super power, bug bite, it gets brutal swing now, so it's got a technician boosted dark type move. It just speaks for itself. Everyone knows what SCIZOR does. SCIZOR is just really going to be able to hold the team together and be a definite offensive threat and a defensive pivot as well, and I just like that about it, and it's a really quality steel type. Pick number 2 went to GARCHOMP. I wanted to do a Dragon Fairy Steel Core right off the bat just because I find those to be the most versatile, and I was thinking in between Hydreigon and GARCHOMP, but I really like GARCHOMP just because it gives me rocks. It gives me access to, for example, Z-move Sandstorm, so I can boost its speed and get the Sand Veil up. Rough Skin Rocky Helmet is always a great set, having another defensive pivot to use. Fire Blast, Stone Edge, Dragon Rush, Poison Jab. Scarf Chomp is really something you cannot sleep on. It's actually really good. And Banded Chomp plus Life Orb, you know, a sash on it. Like GARCHOMP pretty much does more or less the same thing move wise in every iteration of its movesets and whatnot, but it just does it so well, and it's got the coverage, and it's just, again, it's a really awesome mono paired with SCIZOR. Like, that's a really nice defensive coverage. Like, any fire move that someone wants to go for, I can just go out into GARCHOMP, but more often than not they won't have fire and ice coverage, so these two just complement each other really well. And to finish off the Dragon Fairy Steel Core, I actually went ahead and went with FLORGES, and FLORGES is probably one of the best fairy type clerics you can get. Obviously Clefable and Sylveon kind of do more or less the same thing if you want to use them as clerics, but FLORGES just uniquely has a really good special attack stat and a monstrous bit of stat, and it can even run a physically bulky set and be really annoying to things that have coverage for it. Paired with Mega SCIZOR, the only thing that would have made it better is if I was able to have gotten Arcanine, and just FLORGES and Mega SCIZOR together are really freaking annoying to deal with, going back and forth. And then having GARCHOMP in the mix as well, even if I don't run it defensively, just running it offensively, like, they can pivot in between each other and handle pretty much everything offensively except for like specific wall breakers. Like, for example, obviously Victini I can't do anything about besides bringing in GARCHOMP, and then I have to risk a Glaciate or a Hidden Power Ice, but regardless, like, these three together just form a really solid nice core, and I like them a lot, and I'm gonna really look forward to using them. I also like that FLORGES gets access to obviously Wish, Protect, Limit Theory, yada, gets Moonblast, Psychic, Energy Ball, so that's pretty nice coverage there. Also, any hidden power I want to try and maybe catch people on lures, and it's got enough special attack to follow through on those lures as well, so it's definitely a quality pickup, and I'm really glad I was able to get it. Alright, so my fourth pick was something that I chose because I wanted to have another win condition on my team. REUNICLUS is always a win condition, and again, it's got really fantastic coverage, so I can use it in so many capacities that it's going to kind of keep my opponents guessing, because you have Trick Room to worry about, you have Specs, you have Assault Vest Regenerator, you have defensive utility, obviously just the standard Calm Mind SCIZOR set, Acid Armor. I don't remember if it gets Stored Power or not, but Calm Mind, it's so good, and it's got such nice coverage, and those stats are beautiful, and it hits hard as crap too. Like, no one really wants to switch in on a REUNICLUS if they don't resist it, even if it's not really that invested, because it's still gonna do a really nice solid chunk of damage. And REUNICLUS is just something that if I lose any of these three mons, or the previous three mons, REUNICLUS can kind of step in and try and like cover their slack in the meantime, because it can run Spadef or it can run defense, and it's got a really nice HP stat, and obviously they have to fear it setting up and being a pain in their butt as well. I drafted REUNICLUS in the PICA last season, and I just really enjoyed using it, and I just want to get a little bit better with it, and you know, it's always a nice thing to have. Alright, so here's where I had to kind of step back and say, alright, let's not be greedy and try to get all offense right off the bat. I need some hazard removal. So I went with CROBAT here. CROBAT's really nice because so far my team's not really weak to rocks per se, and CROBAT can also double as an offensive mon or utility mon, and defog it's a really reliable defogger as well. It also helps me deal with any fighting types that want to come my way. Granted, FLORGES and REUNICLUS kind of already did that, but CROBAT being there kind of just sealed the deal for me. It's got a fantastic speed tier, and it's actually strong in the time flame if I want to ban it and just spam Brave Bird. Also, I can toxic, you know, obviously the Roost, protect, that kind of stuff. There's even the White Herb Curse set I could use if I really wanted to be cheeky. Got Nasty Plot. It's also another mon that's pretty versatile, and it just fits on the team really well. And I'm glad that I was able to step back and grab hazard removal, because most of the time when I draft all offense, like wall breakers, fast mons, and maybe like a rocker or a spiker or something like that. But I really kind of like put defoggers and spinners off till the end, so I was glad I was able to grab a pretty decent one pretty early, and I was able to you know, not ruin my draft like I normally do. Up at number 5, we got my boy MIENSHAO. This is one of my favorite Pokemon, period, and in especially in League format. MIENSHAO is just really fantastic. It's speed tier, even though it's only got base 105 speed, that's actually faster than most things you're going to come across. And if you scarf it, it's outspeeding almost everything, even things that are obviously things that are slower than it with the scarf. But it's an awesome revenge killer. If I wanted to be super reckless, and I could give it reckless, and its high jump kicks would be strong as crap even with the scarf. If I have a banded reckless high jump kick, then it's going to be OHKOing a lot of things. Like, that is a really hard thing to switch out into. It's almost stronger than or almost as strong as Mega Medichamp's high jump kick, actually. MIENSHAO is just really again fantastic. It's also got a decent special attack stat. Like, Grass Knot does, I'm pretty sure 2-hit KOs a Hippowdon after Life Orb damage. And even high jump kick is going to be doing a lot to Hippowdon. You got knockoff, poison jab, U-turn. Obviously, just having U-turn core with CROBAT and MIENSHAO just right now is awesome, because they're both really fast, and I can definitely take advantage of them, pressure things out, and you know, just take advantage of holes, and it can definitely clean. If I wanted to be a little bit safer, I can also run Drain Punch on it if I wasn't going to run a banded or scarf set, and that's going to hit just as hard, especially for cleaning, because they're not just as hard obviously, but it's speed and the ability to keep U-turning and just let the team whittle away at the other team and then come back and just clean. Drain Punch to stay healthy, or high jump kick if I need more damage off, and then just U-turn out. Just fantastic mon, and I love it. And Regenerator is such a good ability when you have it with the core, and I'm really looking forward to using it. I had this in the first season of the PBL, and I was able to win that season, so hopefully MIENSHAO being on my team again will help bring me some victories. Alright, so here's where I said I wanted to kind of start a Firewater Grass core if I could get one. And I definitely wanted to have a bulky water type. I didn't really want an offensive water type, so I looked at what was available, and Gastrodon just seemed like a pretty solid choice to me. Yes, it is 4 times weak to grass, but water to ground is just a fantastic typing again. So people are going to have to decide whether having HP Grass or HP Fire on things, because I have SCIZOR and Gastrodon. And Gastrodon is just really nice because it's got Recover, and it's actually bulky on both sides of the defensive stats. Having Scald, Earthquake, and being able to run both of those interchangeably as well. Storm Drain is a fantastic ability. It's also got Ice Beam, Sludge Bomb. I'm just really looking forward to using this thing too. I haven't used it yet though. The only problem I'm probably going to have with it is that it's kind of passive if I'm not able to get a toxic off, or it can also be setup fodder as well, so I'm going to have to really watch out for that. It not having as big of an offensive presence might hinder me a little bit, but I'll be able to play around with it in the team. I haven't used it before in League format, so I'll probably have to do a little bit of test battling with it and just play around with some sets, but I've seen it do well in the past, and I know it can do well, so I'm really looking forward to trying it out. Alright, so my third ground type. I know you guys are seeing a trend here. I promise you I didn't really do it on purpose, but the weaknesses are kind of covered by the rest of the team, and they're not really overlapping that much just because of their dual typings. So we got PILOSWINE. PILOSWINE is something I really like, because when you throw an Eviolite on this thing, its defenses are ridiculous. Like, it can live a modest surf, or 2 modest surfs from a Latios, I believe, because I remember I had a lot of trouble with it in the GPC when I had my Mega Latios against I want to say it was Josh's PILOSWINE, and this thing is just so bulky, and again, the ability to get up rocks, and having base 100 attack is still pretty decent. You can just spam Earthquake and Icicle Crash. After that you can Toxic. That's pretty much all that it's going to be doing for me utility and offensively wise. It's going to more or less have the same set every week that I bring it for the most part, but it does its job so well, and it's got such a nice niche that as long as it doesn't get knocked off, it's always going to be something that I can just like have as a pivot or a backup. And then having wish support with FLORGES as well to keep this thing healthy is going to be such a nuisance for my opponent. And again, it hits hard enough to where people can't just bring things in on it willy-nilly or try to set up on it. And I just really like PILOSWINE. I've used it on the ladder as well, and it's just performed really nicely. And again, having a rocker and not having to trap GARCHOMP into a defensive or utility role is always going to be nice. The other cool thing about it is that it lasts in the face of a lot of the bigger offensive threats in the tier, such as Victini, Kieran Black. What else do we have? Tapu Koko can, I guess, grass on it, but that's not really going to be doing too much to it. Raikou, pretty much any electric type it can wall the crap out of, and they cannot do a single thing against it. Obviously, Thundurus and Thundurus T get Focus Blast, but I mean, Focus Blast will 2-hit KO it, I believe, but you're not going to want to Focus Blast from the get-go in front of a freaking PILOSWINE. Like, I'll Icicle Crash you and it'll be gone, and if you're weakened, I can just Ice Charge you and you won't even get the chance. Victini, I think V-Create, if it's banned, it does. I don't even think that's a 2-hit KO. Like, I'm pretty sure it just like eats that up, because Thick Fat's a really nice ability. And again, just having all that bulk with those abilities and Eviolite is just, it's fantastic, man. I'm really glad I was able to grab this, because I really thought it was gonna go, because I got it kind of late. And speaking of Thundurus, we have our boy Thundurus Eye. Thundurus Eye is, in my opinion, one of the top 10 easily offensive threats in Draft League format, just because it's got obscene coverage in Thunderbolt, Dark Pulse, Psychic, Knockoff, Superpower, Focus Blast, what else? Grass Knot, Hidden Power Ice, Incinerate. Like, you can run Hidden Power Ice and Incinerate, so you have coverage for both, like Ferrothorns and Scizors and, you know, the likes of that, as well as having Hidden Power Ice for ground types. And that's just really cool to be able to say you can do. Also, Hidden Power Flying if you just want to stab. Nasty Plot Thunderbolt does so much with the Life Orb. You've even got Agility if you want to use it. I just really like this mon. I've never had it in League format, but I've always hated going up against it, because it's like, what am I going to do to stop this? Because I have to pretty much guess what set they're going to bring, and then try to have something that can play accordingly. And again, because it has really good attack and special attack, they can easily just blow me back with the physical moves that I thought they weren't going to have, or knock off and ruin all of my plans, or they can just blast me away with the special move. Also, having the ability to have Prankster Thunder Wave is a great way to slow down other people's teams, because my team's not super fast. I mean, I've got good speed tiers in MIENSHAO, CROBAT, and Thundurus, but just them by themselves are kind of frail for the most part, so I'm not going to be able to just throw them around. But having Thundurus be able to Thunder Wave anything that wants to set up, and it could potentially just sweep my team and me not be able to do anything about it, is really nice. Like, I can even run defensive if I just wanted to be able to slow other teams down. And it's just so versatile, and I'm just so excited to use it. It's also one of the mons that I chose to be able to use Z moves, so if I really need something gone, I can always just Z move and blast them away. Don't necessarily have to run Life Orb, and it's actually pretty good with leftovers, believe it or not. So I'm really glad I was able to grab that, and it's definitely going to carry its weight on my team 100%. Next up, we got WHIMSICOTT, and this is going to be the grass component to our Firewater Grass core. WHIMSICOTT is something that I just absolutely love using as well, because having Prankster, Tailwind, Taunt, Leech Seed, Encore, etc. means that anything that ever tries to set up in my face or do anything as far as getting up rocks or, you know, being a nuisance in general, I can just bring WHIMSICOTT in, taunt them, encore them, Leech Seed them. I can, if anything's slower than me, I can just keep spamming Substitute and Leech Seed. And in fact, they don't have to be slower than me, they just have to not have priority that's faster than me. And they can literally just, they'll literally just have to sit there and they cannot do anything. If they don't have any form of recovery, then I can just literally keep spamming Substitute and Leech Seed and they will not be able to do a single thing about it. If they want to have priority, then I mean, that's that. I can just switch out into something accordingly. I can also Stun Spore. It doesn't get Sleep Powder, but it does have a pretty powerful Moonblast. Like, considering the fact that it has kind of low special attack, Moonblast does a decent amount of damage, and it's fast enough to where I can take advantage of that. Giga Drain, obviously. Hurricane is a pretty weird but unique thing that it can get. I'm not really probably going to attempt running Hurricane on it, but who knows, it might be that one matchup where maybe it doesn't matter so much and I just want to have fun, or it's just like the best lure I can think of at the time. Prankster Tailwind is actually going to be probably one of the things I use the most though, because having 3 turns of being faster than everything is really nice. For example, if I want to run Banded MIENSHAO and I have a team that's mostly faster than me and I just want to be able to punish them for that. You've got GARCHOMP, which functions really nicely under Tailwind as well with the Life Orb. Mega SCIZOR under Tailwind is going to be freaking ridiculous, and it just holds the team together really well. And the fact that if you're able to run max defense, max HP, it's actually really bulky. It's a great counter to things like Mega Lopunny and Mega Gyarados again, any water dark type. So whoever has things that want to set up on me are going to be really hesitant to do that, because WHIMSICOTT will be sitting there, especially in prep. So I'm really happy I was able to grab that. I'm surprised it went to round what was this, round 10? I think I grabbed this. This is my second to last pick, and I was so shocked that it lasted that long, because WHIMSICOTT is such a good mon. I'm so happy I was able to grab it. I also want to mention that this thing gets Z Memento, and it's a third thing when I chose to use Z moves. The other thing too being Garchomp and Thundurus. We're only allowed 3 Z moves per team, or 3 mons per team to have Z moves. But Z Memento is essentially Healing Wish that does what Memento does. So let's say late game I have SCIZOR and WHIMSICOTT left with something else, and I see SCIZOR wins, but I need to be able to get it in safely. I can just Z Memento, lower whatever's in attack and special attack, bring in SCIZOR, set up an SD, and that can be game. That goes for pretty much anything else on my team. Z Memento is just really gonna probably save my ass one day, and forgive my language. It's not really a PG channel, but you know. Again, like, WHIMSICOTT is just great, and having the access to the Z moves as well is going to make it kind of unpredictable. So again, I'm really glad I was able to grab it, and it's definitely going to put in work on my team and carry its weight. Alright, and my last pick is going to go to my boy PYROAR, and PYROAR is pretty good offensively for being such a low tier pick. It was my last pick for a fire type, and actually what I was going to do if these two weren't available was do Verzine and Delphox, which may have been a little bit better, although I didn't want to have another Pokemon weak to flying. They're quad weak to I don't want a Pokemon quad weak to flying, because that's another thing people could exploit, and it wasn't as good utility wise. It was kind of just offensively there, and Richond, it's decent, but I didn't really like the way it performed in League format, just as far as I've seen. WHIMSICOTT gave me a better utility mon to bind the team together, and PYROAR gave me a mon that was decently fast. 342 speed is not bad at all, and it's actually really strong with the specs. Hyper Voice is really good as a stab, Fire Blast obviously as well, or Flamethrower. It gets access to Solar Beam, so I could use Bloom Doom on that. I just didn't choose Z moves for PYROAR because I didn't think it was worth it. Pin Power Grass, Dark Pulse, what else did we get? Can't think of it off the top of my head right now, but basically I just needed something that could blow people out of the water with a fire move. It also gets Noble Roar, which isn't really that good, but I could maybe squeeze it into being into a weird set. Like, Draft League format opens you up to a lot of strange sets, and like you can do pretty much whatever you want, and not only get away with it, it can actually work a lot of the time. Like, I ran some weird sets. I have run very strange sets back in my day. And again, PYROAR is not really the best defensively, but offensively it's going to be a really nice mon, and again its speed tier is something that might allow me to pick up a win at the end of the game, or be able to clean, or just be able to outspeed something that I really need to outspeed. I don't really know that it would do better than Delphox. The reason I was kind of shying away from Delphox again is because Delphox is pretty much pursuit trap bait. Anything like Drapion or T-Tar can just come in on it pretty much without any you know, drawbacks. PYROAR's not going to really be able to do anything to either of those Pokemon either, but not being a Psychic type means it's not going to just flat out drop to any pursuits. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about PYROAR. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be your Richmond Rayquazas for the PMC, and I'm so happy to be here, and I'm really excited to get the season underway. I really like looking at my team aesthetically. It's aesthetically pleasing to see, and I just know that all of these Pokemon are tried and true, and good at what they do. Did not mean to rhyme there, but hey, it works if it works. I may be trading things out as I'm testing, just if something doesn't really fit my team the way I think it is, but I really think that I have a really nicely balanced team. I don't have any Gen 7 Pokemon, which I was kind of disappointed about, but I've really tried, like, again, tried and true or Mons that have proven themselves time and time again, and I'm really hyped to you know, play the season out and get some W's, you know what I'm saying? Let's try and win this season. Let's try and be the champion. I'm coming for you, Verd. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you did, and I will be bringing you league content coming up very shortly, so keep a lookout for that. Again, please leave a like and subscribe if you did. Support me throughout the season. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.